Whoa! Stanky legs, prost! Oh, fuck. I'm hungry. My ass is hungry now after all that beer. You know what goes great with beer? A little bit of fresh pretzels. So today, we're gonna be making pretzels with a nice dark stout beer dip. What do you think about that?
Bro, I need some before I start yakking.
Alright, let's get into this recipe. So here I have a cup and a half of 95 to 100 degree Fahrenheit water. To that I just added 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast and give a little mix. I'm gonna let it bloom for about a minute. Then I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar and 1 tablespoon of melted butter. Gonna add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of melted butter. Give that a stir and let it finish blooming. While our yeast mixture is blooming, I'm gonna put 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour in this bowl. I'm gonna get about a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour on the side here, just for when I'm working the dough out so I can flour my surface and knead it. To the flour, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt. Just gonna mix that with my hands. I'm gonna grate 1/2 cup of medium cheddar, because we're gonna be making a jalapeno and cheddar pretzel, as well as like a standard, just nice salted pretzel. I got a few pickled jalapenos here that we made in our loaded potato skins video, so you can go check the link in the description to get that recipe. But I'm just gonna chop up about 2 tablespoons of these to add them to our jalapeno cheddar pretzels. Our yeast is nice and bloomed. You can tell by all the bubbles that are formed. We're gonna add this into our flour and stir it with a wooden spoon. You can see that a nice shaggy dough is beginning to form. Just gonna stir it for a little longer, then I'm gonna turn it out onto my cutting board and begin to knead it. We're ready to turn this out onto our cutting board, so I'm gonna take a little bit of that reserved flour, just put it down, spread it around, and put out our dough. Now I'm just gonna work this together with my hands till a cohesive ball of dough forms. At this point, I'm gonna be able to cut the dough in half. Reserve 1/2 for your jalapeno cheddar. The other half will just be a plain pretzel. Now that our dough's come together, I'm gonna throw it in an oiled bowl and let it rest for about 15 minutes before we roll it out. Cover with a towel and set to the side. Gonna add our jalapenos and cheddar to the reserved dough and finish kneading that. Our jalapeno cheddar dough is done. Gonna oil a bowl, set it to the side just like the other one. So while our dough is resting, I have a pot here with 9 cups of water, and I have 1/2 cup of baking soda. I'm gonna add it to our water and turn that on to a medium-high heat and bring it to a boil until the baking soda dissolves. Another way to do this is with lye. I don't have any lye. It's a different kind of chemical. It's a great way to make the pretzel get that dark color, but this is the easiest way for us to do it, so this is how we're gonna do it today. While this is coming to a boil and the pretzels are resting, I'm gonna preheat my oven to 400 degrees so we can bake the pretzels right away. Our dough is rested. I'm gonna cut it into 6 equal pieces and begin to roll some pretzels. So take a piece and just roll it into a long stick and taper out the edges. So pressure in the middle, pinch out the end. Now we have a long rope. I'm gonna bring it up, twist it once, then bring it down. And this is the shape of our pretzels. I'm gonna set them on a parchment lined baking sheet, then bring them over to get boiled. Now that our pretzels are all rolled out, I'm gonna boil them in this baking soda water for about 30 seconds and throw them back on the baking sheet. Put about 2 or 3 in there at once. You don't want to overcrowd your pot. When your pretzels come out of the water, you're going to put some coarse pretzel salt on it just to finish it so they stick to the wet pretzel. Our pretzels are now boiled and salted. We're going to throw them in our 400 degree oven for 15 minutes or until they're nice golden brown. While those are baking, we're gonna go over and make the beer dip.
We're gonna start with brumoising a shallot. Gonna rough chop some garlic. So kicking our fridge today, we had a nice medium cheddar and Monterey Jack, and a little bit of the single singles. So yeah, feel free to use kind of whatever cheese you got in your fridge. Let's do it up.
Someone would be like, do you go in there with the wrap? Or you?
Alright, we're gonna get a little splash of oil. Woo, baby! Got our pan heat up to medium heat here. Introduce our shallots and garlic. Get a little sweaty sweat. We're running this down for about 1 minute, just until the shallots gets translucent. We're gonna deglaze with our chosen beer today. Waterloo Dark, you know, keep it in the hood. Alright, deglaze. Alright, we're gonna reduce this down to about 3/4. Gorgeous, almost there. Time to fold in 1 brick of cream cheese. So that melt in. Add about 3 ounces of sour cream. Just a splash of Worcestershire sauce. A teaspoon of Dijon. A single, and our little cheese blend. Give her a little mixy mix. Splash of milk. Cracked pepper. Chive. A little parsley. We're gonna thin this out with a little more beer. We're gonna add a splash of apple cider vinegar, just for a little pop. We're gonna transfer our dip to a nice vessel. We're gonna garnish it with Cayenne, pickled jalapeno, and of course, bacon.
Cheers! Prost.
This is what I needed in my life.
Awesome. Try this recipe out at home. Send us your photos on Instagram. We'll definitely share them. Give this video a thumbs up. Happy Oktoberfest in February. Cheers.